seconds remaining.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Weplay action here at Beyond the Summit stream number 1. I hope you guys just saw the huge Game 3 best of 3 series between Zenith and I think it was Rising Stars. It was such a great series. If you haven't watched it yet, definitely check it out on VODs. But today we have Luminous and Merlini casting Evil Geniuses and Team Liquid. This is going to be upper bracket of the Weplay. And I know a lot of people are very excited about this all-American affair. I know I am. I'm pretty sure Merlini is as well. Merlini, how are you doing today so far?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. So Life's going to be the first pick for EG. I want to say nothing too surprising because this hero, by far over many other heroes, is just the de facto first pick, it seems like.
Indeed. I expect a mag, probably from Liquid, but previously in the drafts that I've watched, they've always prioritized Lifestealer over mag. So they took a little bit, they actually dipped pretty well into their reserve time for that, 45 seconds for their first 2 picks. Usually teams are much quicker to pick those 2, but I am wrong about the Magnus. They instead pick up Nyx Assassin and Darkseer.
Yeah, Nyx Assassin as a hero has been dropping lower and lower in terms of the pick ban. Any thoughts on why? I think a couple of people would say that teams are starting to figure out exactly how to play against him. But for the most part, he's still a very annoying hero to deal with. It forces your support to, you know, shelf rewards that they might not have money for. It makes teamfight a little bit hectic, especially when he press Spike Carapace. You know, you have to be very careful of how you land your own AoE spells and whatnot. What do you think about why, for example, Nyx Assassin is picked up first here, but many other games he's picked up on the second phase, maybe not even picked up at all?
I think it's because a lot of teams have relegated him to the support role lately, and that that's not so bad by itself, but couple that with a nerf that makes Spike Carapace much more useless at earlier levels, like makes him very weak support. We used to see him run solo mid quite often, especially versus Queen of Pain, but Magnus has been surviving the first ban very often, and Nyx is actually not that great versus a solo Magnus. He fares much better versus the likes of Skywrath, Puck, and Queen of Pain. I think that yes, teams have started playing better against them. They just group together more often, always have sentries, pick up an earlier gem, and have learned to deal with them a lot better. So I think just that and the fact that the support role plus Carapace nerf just tones him down a little. I've actually seen him like sometimes just not picked or banned at all. Like forget about the second phase or first pick phase. He just like isn't even picked, which is ridiculous. I still think he's a tier 1 hero. Teams just tend to like, you know, phase in and out heroes a lot.
I'm gonna agree with you. I mean, we've seen Nyx Assassin do a lot of work against Darkseer, just burning away from his huge mana pool and his heavy mana costs. But for now, those two are gonna be working together, at least for this game. One thing to point out is that EG is playing with the full roster, and Liquid is gonna have a stand-in in place of IX Smite. MSS will be standing in. I don't think that will be an issue though, because I think the last time we were casting together, MSS was called the M-God, as he was landing some amazing Rubik stolen RPs, and amongst other huge plays that he did. So it should be a very good best of 3. And any money anywhere? I know you know a lot of these players, being American players. So your thoughts on EG's performance lately, as well as Team Liquid's red hot streak?
They both are very good. EG gave Na'Vi a run for their money in the Cursed Invitational, almost taking a game versus one of the strongest Western teams. I'll have to see the line. I think they're both actually very evenly matched, even though Liquid was a direct invite and EG is has to go through the Western qualifier. So I think EG is definitely an underdog, but I mean, I think the series could go either way.
Yep. I think the scary thing about these Western Dota nowadays is that any really tier 1 team, and I consider EG definitely a tier 1 team, could easily take a best of 3 from another tier 1 team. So Team Liquid better out there. You hold on to your rears. I don't know, man. I don't know. But definitely it's going to be a great best of 3. Second phase bans are coming out. Puck as well as Chen being banned out for EO Geniuses, and Lone Druid being banned out here from Team Liquid. You were talking about Nyx Assassin being a support, and I imagine he's going to be support here as well. Any thoughts on what mid-hero we might see here? We saw a lot of Templar Assassin being played by Korok, and of course he has his Queen of Pain, he has his Stormstraight as well. I imagine TA is going to be the decent answer. We've seen it match up decently most of the time against Magnus, and last time we were casting together, you say TA definitely have the lane advantage there.
Yeah, T is pretty good here. They might go for like one of the more elusive in heroes, like so TA's banned. I expect maybe a Storm. We have seen Korok Storm fairly often. There is Queen of Pain too. I don't know why people ban Puck and Queen of Pain. Those are pretty much interchangeable heroes. Both do a lot of AoE damage, good initiate, and scale pretty well into the late game as the 2 role. Both of them shut down Magnus pretty hard. I think Queen of Pain more so than Puck, but I expect either a Queen of Pain or a Storm pickup. I think both of those would work pretty well in their lineup. So we see a Lone Druid ban from Team Liquid. No surprise there. That would just make this Lone Druid plus Magnus is just ridiculous. That Empowered Bear just crushes towers. And a Furion ban as well from Team Liquid. Still waiting for the last one.
Ooh, they're gonna ban out their own Storm. Very, very surprising there. So the Prophet ban really geared towards Sexy Bambo, who has really been performing excellently on these long lanes. He solos versus a dual tri-lane, somehow get a double kill against them, and you know, somehow gives you the late game huge semi carry that Nature's Prophet generally provides. So I wonder what is going to be the pickup here for Evil Geniuses. They definitely could run their offensive tri-lane with the Hands of Lifestealer, but I imagine it's going to be the very standard defensive tri-lane, Bambo up on top of solo, and then you put Magnus mid. Maybe EG could get a little bit greedier and run a jungler as well. Nope, they're going to take a route of Keeper. Again, I really like this pickup here because they still mask the strategy very well. Can they go offensive? Can they go defensive? They definitely could do both. What will they actually do? We'll have to wait for the last pickup.
And this is very unusual. Keeper usually gets banned out in the first phase, and him being picked first in the second phase is quite unusual, but we still have yet to see what Evil Geniuses will do for their other solo, and most likely they're going to triple lane with a Lifestealer, Ruping, and Keeper, but most of the good offlaners are already banned out or picked. We have Darkseer already taken by Team Liquid, we have Lone Druid banned out by Team Liquid, we have Nature's Prophet banned out, and we have Clockwork banned out. So other than that, there's not really too many good offlane heroes. I mean, Windrunner and Bounty Hunter, but those are both like second tier, very situational offlaners. So I'm curious as to see what they're going to do for their last one.
Yeah, and most teams generally abandon their offlaners nowadays and have a jungler, but like you said, there's not many high tier offlaner that could even jungle at this point anymore. I guess Enigma comes to mind with that, but I don't really see teams really running Enigma as a long lane. Of course, Team Dignitas run him a straight up jungle. We'll see exactly what Team Liquid and EG will do. That's going to be a Shadow Demon, so the roaming ganking combo of Team Liquid, pretty impressive so far. SD, Nyx Assassin, definitely could get some kills. Maybe not against Magnus, he is one of the sturdiest hero. And I'm a little bit worried about their initiation power against Team Liquid. Sure, they have some stuns, but they're not really good stuns against Lifestealer. The Impale has a fairly long cast animation, as well as, I guess, the projectile travel range. And a good Lifestealer could easily rage dodge that. So far, they don't really have a great answer, aside from the Demonic Purge at level 6 for SD in a team fight, but they really don't have any great ganking tools either against the Lifestealer. So I'm a little bit concerned for Team Liquid here.
I agree with that. They can pull off some really nice stuff with like a vacuum into an Impale with a call down, but that takes extreme amounts of coordination, and a team like Evil Geniuses is not going to clump so easily for that. Evil Geniuses could actually run Magnus as like their offlane or safe lane solo and put another hero mid. I think that Team Liquid was maybe a little bit scared of that because of the Storm ban, but we have yet to see. Storm plus Coddle is actually very strong, so I think that's actually a decent ban by them if they aren't going to utilize it for themselves. So Team Liquid, most likely Darkseer in the off lane or solo safe lane, and then Nyx Assassin, Gyrocopter, SD will comprise of their triple lane. Oh, well, and there's Weaver.
There you go. I think both of us forgot about that very decent hero, and I'm sure Team Liquid would have been happy for picking up that one because Weaver matches up very decently against Lifestealer. But right now, if you look at the draft from Team Liquid, that's another big thing that they have to worry about. Again, the lack of really true stuns is going to hurt Team Liquid, whether it's going to be the lane phase or more importantly during a team fight phase. And Darkseer Vacuum's nice, Impale's sort of reliable, but they need something big, and it's going to be a Dragon Knight. That's a very long range instant stun. And I imagine that's going to be solo mid for Team Liquid, and he matches up quite decently against Magnus, I think.
Yeah, it's still a very unusual pick, though. I haven't seen Dragon Knight in the longest time. I've seen him in some like really niche strats. We used to see Dragon Knight combined with Ogre and Magnus, old school Magnus, and you would just like empower and bloodless him, and he would just go to town with his bajillion armor and AoE splash attack. So that was actually pretty cool to see. But since then, he's kind of fallen off the radar. I think he's a decent hero. His skill set synergizes pretty well, and he's very difficult to kill. That huge armor from Dragon's Blood makes it Actually, a little bit difficult for Lifestealer to take down. Lifestealer's strength is usually versus other strength heroes for that feast, but Dragonite I think is one of the few tanky heroes that can stand up versus him.
Yeah, I think Alliance, Loda's a big fan of Dragonite overall, and they generally run him as like a tanky hero on the front line for their big push strats with Chen and Lone Druid and whatnot, but that's near and there. It's going to be TC playing Dragonite. It's going to be a solo mid. Fluff and Stuff's going to be handling the ST. MFS is going to be playing the Nyx Assassin. Korok handling the Gyrocopter, and Boba on the long lane Darkseer.
Yep, and for Team EG, we have Fear on the support Rubik, Jo on Weaver, Demon on the solo mid Magnus, Bambo looks like he will be part of the triple lane on the Lifestealer, and Beat on the Keeper of the Light.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that Bambo is going to be playing the Lifestealer. I'd imagine that Weaver's going to be a hero, so that's going to be an indication that, like you said, it's going to be offensive trialing, and the Weaver's going to be having a safe solo against the Darkseer, who has a matchup advantage here. It generally feels like Darkseer should have it, especially if he double Iron Shell. Even though Weaver's a range hero, he's going to have a tough time getting any really successful last hit or denies against Darkseer.
If Darkseer doesn't creep skip, I think Weaver actually has an advantage. That Shikushi just pretty much nullifies the Surge. Even with level 2 Surge, it's duration 4.5 seconds. That's about the duration of Shikuchi. And Weaver actually has the potential to kill Darkseer. We've seen the matchup a couple of times, but with a safe lane, and if he gets pulled, let's see if he does. He did get pulled one set of tangos. So I think that Weaver will probably have that advantage here. Darkseer can't actually stand up to the harass from Weaver. It's just way too strong without outside interference. But again, I don't think the Darkseer should die if he plays carefully though. So it looks like we're going to have a lot of action on top lane. I saw Bambo play the Nyx the other day. He's a pretty flexible player. Seems like he plays the solo off lane like Furion sometimes, or he can play the one role. So it's a little bit unusual for teams to do that, but actually both these American teams do have players that switch between roles quite often. Fear used to be just a carry player, now he's a support player. We have DC and Korok and Bulba often rotate in between roles too, so I like the flexibility of both of these teams.
Yeah, going back to the Darkseer point real fast, there's something that Darkseer could also do is not only creep skip, but also pull the creeps from the lane into the jungle and take advantage of basically double farming both the in-lane creeps as well as the jungle creeps and basically skip ahead. He's going to be somewhat immune to the harass coming in from Weaver, and to be honest, there's not going to be any support from EG that's going to disrupt any pulling that he wants to do. So let's see if Boba's going to take full advantage of that. But going back to this top tri lane, it's going to be ST, Nyx Assassin, as well as Gyro, somewhat of a very short range and still very squishy lane, versus this one that has, in my opinion, a lot more range with Fable, with of course Open Wound, as well as Illuminate, and a lot more diving power as well. Do you give EG's tri lane upper hand, or do you give Team Liquid's tri lane a better chance of winning this one?
I think EG's is a little bit stronger simply because they have Nyx, and Liquid doesn't have any good way to deal with Nyx. They didn't pick up Bane, there's no Razor pick, they pretty much just have nothing to do if they have a defensive disrupt, but they can't ever go on the Nyx. That's a problem. If you can't shut down the carry's farm in that lane, then that's a huge issue. But Nyx's only weakness is that he is a melee, so Korok as the carry in that lane will be able to harass him decently and hopefully get some last hits. But as it stands right now, Keeper of the Light, one of the strongest triple lane heroes in the game, and as is Lifestealer. Rubik is also very good, especially with Fear's experience. I doubt he will be caught out of position. He's pretty much like the one hero that they can go on. I mean, they can go on Keeper of the Light as well, but they really want to go for the Rubik. And I think if they don't mess up in their positioning, then EG definitely has the advantage in this triple lane.
Generally, when you're dealing against a Lifestealer, if you have the Nyx Assassin, you skill Mana Burn early and you take away his ability to get away with Rage, but that ability or that trick won't work here because simply there's a Keeper of Light. So let's see how this lane will adjust. There is the range factor on Korok versus Lifestealer, but it's only 350, so he's got to be very careful due to the Open Wound long initiation range. EG as well as Team Liquid hovering over this top route. And of course, Boba on the bot lane doing exactly the same thing. The mid matchup is going to be a ton of harassing and very little kill. I imagine Demon's going to have the slightly better killing power if you could skewer the Dragonite into his tier 1 tower, but I imagine Korok won't make that silly mistake.
Yeah, we actually see Dragonite forego any sort of regeneration, not skilling up Dragon's Blood, nor picking up any sort of tangos, just relying on that very early level of Breath of Fire to get him that 600 gold that he needs for that early bottle.
Haste Rune up top here, and he's going to initiate. I imagine it's going to be on Fluff and stuff. So far, just harassing away. I guess his allies can't really keep up, so any tango or salve I could burn out. Looks like an offensive disruption already being used, so a ton of mana, as well as at least a single tango is going to be used off a very nice rune picked up by Bambo.
It looks like they will already have the edge in that, although... What is he doing?
I have... no, they wanted to block this camp with their heroes, and then they want to back off. I imagine that's the case.
Bambo was just looking really funny with that auto-attack cancel.
In any case, both teams have runes, or excuse me, wards up the river. It's going to be somewhat passive, in my opinion, in the early game. The top lane will try to kill each other, but Team Liquid most likely is going to stay defensive. And of course, on the bot lane, so far, no creep skipping here done by Boba. I imagine he'll do it maybe a level 3, once this Iron Shell is a little bit highly leveled.
So both heroes already taking quite a bit of damage in the middle. Demon's only at 200 HP, but he does have a couple of tangos to get him back to full health. We already see TC's bottle coming into mid, so this will be quite a bit earlier than Magnus's.
Here we go. Boba seemingly getting in position for creep skipping. Also, you can see that Beat on the top lane starting to harass away with that big Illuminate. He wants that level 2, and once he does have it, he will just spam whoever he wants out of the lane. He's going to burn that his only solo carry so far. And this is Boba on the bot lane getting ready to, so far, again, not doing that pull just yet. I imagine he will be doing it eventually.
And we see EG's triple lane actually get an advantage here. Being able to creep pull this big camp is actually a huge win for them. And if they can keep denying Liquid XP, they will certainly have the advantage. And both heroes getting very low in middle.
Yeah, you were talking about creep pulling. Dire normally have the creep pull advantage, but it's really hard to do it, especially against a Keeper of Light who could steal your creeps by blasting it like just that. But Bambo perhaps a little bit out of position here. Surrounded by 3 or 4 creeps, will use his rage. Are they going to offensively disrupt? They will. And the Impel shift followed, landed. No, mistime it by MSS. I'm not really sure whether they get a kill, but they would have at least burned a salve or something. But in any case, missed opportunity for Team Liquid.
Yeah, and Nyx did opt for an early stout shot. I think that's a very good pickup for him. He's not really vulnerable to the magic damage unless he pops rage at an inopportune time, such as during the creeps there. But I mean, he's just very difficult to kill, and you have a huge advantage in the triple lane if you don't really have a good way to kill the carry.
Yeah, not only that, it seems like the Evo Geniuses also has a huge advantage in the mid lane. You can see that Demon already has his own courier upgraded, whereas right now it's still a walking courier for Dragon Knight. There's a second bottle. I imagine that's going to be for Darkseers on the ball lane, as he didn't go for any Soul Ring recipes. So, your thoughts on Soul Ring versus bottle on the offlane Darkseers? Seems like it comes down to a player preference. I imagine Boba might not really utilize runes as effectively as other offlanes, for example, like Clock maybe. But yeah, your thoughts on bottle versus Soul Ring?
It's really a toss-up. It just really depends on how much your mid-hero needs to bottle Crow. If you can bottle Crow as often as a mid-hero can, then I think the bottle's a really good pickup. But
I hear you being silent. I'm silent as well. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming either. Regardless, looks like First Blood will go to the Rubik, picking off the Gyrocopter. So that's actually a big kill by them. I think Fluff was actually trying to lay sentries over here. He has 2 plays, but unable to de-ward any of them. And they're actually losing this tri-lane quite heavily because both their supports are very under level right now. Fluff not even level 2, and they won't be able to use that creep pull for a long time. But sorry for missing that First Blood. Did not see that one coming.
Yeah, same here. But going back to the point about your trying prediction, like you predicted, it's going to be Team Liquid taking the early lead. It's so hard to actually kill the Nyx. It's very easy for EG to actually dive and kill the Gyrocopter, and that's exactly what they did there. EG continued to actually take advantage of this pull on the left side. And looks like Fair getting in position to prevent this D-War from happening. In fact, if they could get their own D-War going, they're trying to find this. Yep, they will find it, and there you go. Ward's being dropped down, but Ward's not really doing too much.
Yep, and Korok is only level 2 right now. He's their carry in the lane, and that's actually a really big deal, considering Lightsealer is almost level 4 right now. So he's almost doubling Korok in experience. And looking at the CS, he's over doubling his CS to Lifestealer with 15 losses and Gyro with 7. So EG is winning this lane pretty handily. TC manages to pick up an Illusion Rune on bottom.
I feel that right now Team Liquid is really in dire straits. They have a small window opportunity before Bambo finds his other, I want to say 500 gold. If he gets his phase boots, good luck. This lane is over. So Team Liquid has about, I want to say, a minute or two before they could get any kill attempt, or they're going to start roaming. That's the choice they're going to take, and let's see what they can do on the mid lane. The issue is Magnus, generally a very sturdy hero, and of course a Dragon Tail is a very short cast range until he gets that ultimate form, which he'll pick it up right now. So with TC getting 6, I think they could get this kill. But with that said, you can see that Demon is bottling up as well.
Yep, and let's see if Fluff engages on him. He's trying to bottle Crow.
Oh, just a weird angle. I really think you need to have TC to initiate. But again, missed opportunity, missed a ton of experience and level. And here we go, creeps being stolen up the top lane. Fable, Illuminate, not only killing both Centaurs, but with the creep wave there as well. And you can see them now rotating off. Korok says, good luck in the lane, guys. I'm only level 2. There's no way I could do anything there. And Bambo, almost there to the face.
Yeah, they're getting some good damage on this tower, though. Glyph has not been used, but this tower has already taken almost 500 damage. Checking out bottom lane, Weaver and Darkseer are still very close in CS. 25 for Weaver and 24 for the Darkseer. They're actually both at 25 right now, but Bulba's actually falling a little bit behind in experience as a melee hero. Denies will hurt him a little bit more, so he just hit 6 when JO's 6.5 with a half a wave left to kill.
Yeah, I wonder what the big comeback here for Team Liquid is. They are eating Illuminate, they're eating Fable up top, they're not getting the necessary EXP. The ganking supports are nice if they have decent levels, but they're very, very far from that. So, and of course, Dragon Knight's one of those heroes that's nice, but he's not gonna really snowball out of control like most other Korok hero, like a Stormseer or a Queen of Pain. So I really wonder what the comeback is for Team Liquid, because they're definitely behind right now. Checking out the Go graph, about 2,000 gold deficit, as well as a 2,000 experience deficit.
Yeah, it's not looking good for them right now, especially with this Invis in Magnus's bottle. If he gets a good gank on top, that tower is just done for, and it's going to be a huge blow to them. Looks like he is trying to go on mid, though, with the skewer back.
There's a teleport coming in right now. There's RP. There's going to be Skewer Upward Spheres raiding right there. Fable, where's the lift? No mana for the lift. Yeah, no mana for the lift. Miscommunication, or miscalculation here by Fear. He finally has the lift, but TC well towards his tower. So that's a lucky break that Liquid needed, and, well, TC survives.
Korok is just hurting badly right now. Level 3.5, and he really needs some space created for him so he can farm, but, oh, he gets pulled back in mid.
Oh my goodness. Oh, he does have the magic wand, but there's magic wand up there for Magnus as well. No shockwave mana. Just missing a point or two. He was missing like 1 or 2 mana until it barely came up. And again, TC luckily enough went out of range. So it's looking tough for EG. Well, not looking tough. It's looking tough for Team Liquid. But EG missing some opportunities as well. I gotta say, Bulba, perhaps, if they find a really quick mech on him, then they have a shot to take some early team fight, because comparatively, Keeper of Light is not going to find his own mech anytime soon. So we'll see if that's going to be their comeback mechanism. But for now, Jail as well as everybody else on the EG side enjoying very, very good farm and experience.
Yep, still very passive game from both teams. Problem with DK is he like really needs a lot of farm in order to do anything, and you can't really do that much in team fights without that much farm. As opposed to a hero like Queen of Pain or Storm Spirit, most of those in heroes can still do a fair amount of damage even if you are under farmed, as long as you have the levels. But that is one of the problems with Dragon Knight, and he isn't the best roamer. He's really good at putting out pressure on tower and middle, especially if you have the ultimate, and he will get a stun on Demon right now.
A decent chase to no mana on Demon, and one more Flame Breath should actually take the job here. Demon trying to juke, really no way to juke. It looks like MSS a little bit trapped in. The tower, oh no, the creep's not really helping out. It looks like Boba is going to come through the mid lane. Let's see if they can destroy that tier 1. They really need that gold. And of course, Elder Form level 1 on Dragon will do a tiny bit of extra damage to that tower. Glyph is going to force out, and I think right now EG should counter push, and that's exactly what they're going to be doing on the top lane.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised Demon died right there. They already have wards set up, 2 of them in mid just for him, but it will cost both teams a tower. So looking at the gold graph right now, still around 1,500 in favor of EG. Experience graph, just over 1,500, so no surprise there on either of the charts.
Yeah, that movement forced Team Liquid to actually rotate Boba to the mid lane for that push. Jail enjoying about a minute of free farm, but I don't think Boba missed too much. He's going to come back on the bot lane, but here comes Beatus. I really don't think they would get the kill on Darkseer. Maybe they're just actually getting a little bit of XP, but the rotation comes in from the 2 roaming support as well. Oh, they're going to see that Moth Butterfly. I don't think it'll die, but you can see the MSS trying to cut the courier off. They need about 3 more hits,
Radiant's bottom
Yeah.
tower ain't
If he hadn't done, he could have probably killed it. But,
Yeah, if only.
yeah. It's only level 5, a little bit sad. But game going decently now. I feel that despite the early kind of deficit on that top lane, like you said, they need to create some space for Korok, and he finally got it. Rotation will come from the mid lane though. DK, one of the sturdiest early game heroes, has 2 magic wand charges, and looks like the bottle is going to come in as well. I don't think they could kill TC. They need maybe an RP usage. And speaking of which, Demon has it.
Yep, Demon actually not looking so bad even after 1 death. He does. Oh, looks like Korok might be in danger up top.
He's going to try to TP out, but Fear's going to be right there with the lift to cancel that one. Infest with the damage there as well. Korok might actually survive this. There's no teleportation support coming in. He's going to try to do as much damage as possible before dying. Of course, that Tranquil Boost doesn't really help you when you lose all of that MS. Thanks to the right clicks as well as the Fate Bolt being done by Fear. Back in the bot lane though, looks like they're going to do a little bit of pressure. Beatus not level 6 just yet, and here comes TC. You don't see him, Beatus trying his best to juke, but they have found him, and Beatus is going to get blown apart. Meanwhile, a couple of TP comes in right now. They're going to go right on MSS. Jail, nice mono burn against Bambo, but he's going to go down eventually. Meanwhile, looks like TC and Demon tango out on the tower. TC does have the double damage. She's going to run away. Weaver's going to get 1 kill. They see MSS still alive somehow. He's going to go down regardless. That phase speed doing huge work. And looks like most of the member for Evil Geniuses in this fight. And a 2-for-1 trade in a favor of EG under that tower.
Yeah, so the only saving grace for this point for Liquid is just TC has gotten a lot of space to farm and a lot of levels. He is level 9 right now with Treads. It looks like he might be going early drums and 600 gold. So he's pretty much the only one on Liquid looking in decent shape besides for Darkseer. And Bulbous almost has his mech completed, only 300 gold away. And looks like they will get a stun off on Bambo.
It's going to be a tough tie. They're going to lift, and they're going to toss him back. There's RP, defensive disruption being used. Nice impale. Got to mono burn him. Demon, half HP, but it's going to drop his RP on TC. TC's going to get skewered backwards as well. No more defensive capability. Big vacuum here coming out from Boba. How many kills can Team Liquid get? They're going to get 1 from Demon. They're looking for a little bit more. Fear is going to be the target. They will get Fear. He's trapped. And that seems to be it. 2-for-1 trade. Losing TC there. Not exactly what they want. Like you said, TC is going to be their shining hope. But Korok, like you said, is going to get some space up top. Still farming away. He needs a ton of item, and finally he's got some room to farm for it.
Yeah, that was a really good exchange for Liquid there. Buying Korok time to farm and get him getting up some levels is their key in this like 10 to 15 minute part of the game. Looks like Jo is TPing up top and continuing the pressure with a Nake's bomb inside of him.
Oh, he is so dead right now. Korok's trying to juke, but really he can't juke from this open wounds. A couple more right clicks. Straight TP out. Will he make it? He does have 4 wand charges. He didn't even need to pop it before that TP. Good job for Korok. He basically drew 2 people up there. Didn't really accomplish too much. And now he's going back home. And meanwhile, I love the way that Team Liquid's been playing. They're so aggressive despite the fact that they're down.
Vendetta on bottom.
Yep, they're trying to get a kill on Beatus. Unfortunately, they're going to turn back. Thought maybe they would really get that kill. Beatus is going to TP back out on the mid lane, pressuring the tier 1 tower mid.
Yeah, that failed gank on top might just cost them this T1 tower on bottom. And TC looks like there's no contest for this.
Well, they're going to try to go on Beatus. This observable right where the tier 1 tower fell. Really nicely done. That's going to cut off the creep wave support as well. Korok running in. He's got the rocket on Demon. Demon very, very sturdy still, so he's going to be fine. The rotation is going to come up top from Fear. Yeah, going back to my point about Team Liquid being aggressive, it doesn't matter if they're winning or losing. They'll try to out-aggro the enemy team and come back, and so far it's working out. I talked about the goal graph is really a 2,000 goal lead previously. It's still remaining as a 2,000 goal lead, and as the clock tick up more and more, goal lead doesn't matter that much. That small 2,000 amount. I think Team Liquid is right back in this game. They're getting a ton of map control. If you look at their wards, they are all over the enemy side, and again, that's really indicative of how Team Liquid likes to play.
Yeah, they're really good at making efficient use of their other 4 heroes while Korok is farming. And EG, meanwhile, usually has a full strength of 5, are really not picking up any kills in this mid game like they need to be. I think they might be waiting for Magnus to get Blinkies around 1,000 gold away, but again, Liquid just making really good use of their other 4 heroes. Nyx really finding some kills, TC pressuring towers wherever he needs to be, and Fluff just trying to set up some kills too. Looks like Keeper will be the sole defender on bottom, and they do have Glyph up. Looks like each team may be looking for a trade.
Yeah, generally Keeper is a very, very good defender, and you can see that he's just doing that, but he's got to be somewhat careful because Spike Carapace could slow him down. A Surge Dragon Form Dragon Tail could easily allow Team Liquid to dive, so he's got to respect that, and you can see that he's staying very, very far apart because of it. Tier 2 tower is destroyed up top, and looks like Team Liquid unable to get that trade. We do see an Invest Bomb within Demon. Demon still 600 go away, so looks like we're going to see some Skewer initiation action very soon. Unless, you know, there's a haste stream. What a pickup here for him.
And looking at the net worth graph, it's not actually how I expected it to be. Darkseer is actually way on top.
Yeah.
600 behind the next one, which is the Weaver, who actually just uses Midas. Looks like he's probably going for a quick Lincolns after it. And then Nace, who had a really good start, and he didn't get first blood, but he pretty much had free farm in his lane, is actually third in net worth, only sitting at 5,400 gold, and his armlet just completed.
Yeah, maybe the early tower destruction up top didn't really help the Lifestealer, as he was really forced to roam and gank. Remember that he was on the mid lane trying to gank TC for a bit, and wasn't able to get that gank. He got TP up top with the Weaver and tried to get that gank on Gyrocopter, and that didn't work either. So he's been spending a lot of time trying to aid his team, and it's not been too effective. But the saving grace is that he doesn't need to be a solo carry. He's got JO on his back. He's got the Empower for late game. So even if he's 1 or 2 items behind, he should be okay. And here comes a little bit of tier 1 pressure. Demon still doesn't have the blink, but the haste rune, it's going to be his semi-blink. And of course, Skewer's going to be on top as well. Swarm can be used for a little bit of initiation. And looks like they're going to just slow siege this one down. Yeah, Bambo just pops back out. Do they have Glyph available? There is no Glyph. Tower's going to go down, but looks like they are going to initiate. Jo is going to go into Sakuchi mode, and that should be enough. No, Vacuum's going to miss, and that's Q for Team Liquid to back off. I don't think they should fight over this one.
Yeah, definitely don't think so. Mag is very, very close to Blink too, so EG being very careful about where they want to take their engagement. They really want to try and pressure Liquid right now to try and stop Korok from farming, or at least win these 4-on-5 engagements, but, I mean, Korok's just getting a lot of space right now, just being able to use his ultimate on creeps on this triple stack, and again, these camps are like getting stacked by Liquid too, so Korok will be able to get back in this game if EG keeps, again, moving around the map and not really finding kills where they need to. Sure, they're getting towers, but so is Liquid. Liquid got the first tower in mid, the tower on bottom, and a lot of good damage on the second one. As soon as they get this T2 down on bottom, they'll be in a very, very nice position for Roshan, and that will pretty much put Korok right back in the game.
Yeah, generally when we say that, oh, Magnus has this Blink Dagger, you assume EG is going to be trying to do a big roaring offense, perhaps looking to take those tier 2, but I feel that even with the Blink Dagger up, I think Team Liquid's in an okay shape, as long as Boba doesn't get caught. Popping his mech as well as some assistance with the vacuum, I think they should be okay, unless it's like 4-man RP or something like that. So as long as Darkseer doesn't get caught, I think Team Liquid should be in a decent shape. Also, you can see that Dragon Knight's going to be going for Shadow Blade, and that's really, in my opinion, the item he needs. He needs to start picking off these very squishy supports. Vetus, that's a free kill. Rubik, that's a free kill. As long as you could get in position and find them. And that's really the strength of heroes like Quap, as well as Puck, as well as Storm. You could get to the back line and pick up support. And I hope that Shadow Blade is going to be applying the same utility for that Dragon Knight.
We see a smoke on bottom lane from the 4 do stuff Liquid members, and it looks like they are trying to look for Demon. They may run into him on their way middle.
Yeah, he's got that Blink Dagger, so even if he dies, it's not exactly the big win. In fact, if Demon could counter RP right here on 3-4, that's going to be a team wipe, and I don't think, well, they have the surprise factor for them. Demon, is he going to get initiated on? The sense of disruption is going to Purge open, but Purge does not actually do damage up front, so he's going to blink away. Meanwhile, Fear's on the run. Fear might actually even survive this. He's on the run himself. He's finally going to go down. Meanwhile, on the backline here, Bambo's doing work against TC. TC extremely tanky, though. He's actually going to be okay. Vacuum's going to infest into a creep. Bamboo's going to come back out. EG on a treat, and Fear was able to survive through this one. MSS dropping off Impel. Blink Skewer against MSS. He is going to be dead. That gank not working out. EG's coming to push in because they have the Blink RP available. And Team Liquid is not 5 strong.
Yeah, not having that instant source of damage really hurt them. No poison being thrown out, and no even right clicks from Gyro would do. His cast or his attack animation is very, very quick. They really needed to pop his blink before he was able to escape from that demonic purge.
Call down being used just to slow down this push. Vetus will blow up the creep wave as well. Generally, Team Liquid will only defend this with 4. It seems like Gyrocopter has not rotated off a lane. Maybe a impending team that's going to be coming out. But like you said, EG's kind of taking this quite slowly, and it's going to be tough to push against things like Flame Breath, Poison Spram, as well as Call Down. Looks like they're still going to muscle through this one. There is Glyph, which they will pop right now. Are they going to initiate Boba? Nice 2-man vacuum, but nothing really to follow up. I think they just want to hold on to this tier 2 for as long as possible.
Yeah, and EG doesn't actually have any sentries, so that leaves Mojo Stormstout free to initiate with Vendetta if he wishes to, but it looks like he is very, very wary of them, even though Keeper of the Light only has him in his stash right now. He does have mech completed, and looks like EG will smoke.
And Smoke and just stay there. Bambo runs out. Smoke's gonna rage and try to get that kill on the tower. Deny attempt from TC. Not gonna be there. And Demon blinks it into Impale. Gotta stun him through him. They do. And the call down should actually bring him down. Nice mech up here from Beatus. He's gonna skewer back out. Maybe he'll survive. They're gonna chase him down. RP's gonna be used on Boba. Demon still juking. Still surviving. He's got 16 HP. Finally, no! Still alive! Demon, what a play. Flame Breath finally gonna bring him down. But he's baited so many spells. Bambo's gonna get turned on though. Dragon Tail or Dragon Form gonna be used. Bambo's still chasing. Open runes being used. Offensive disruption here coming from Fluff and stuff. TC is gonna die. He's low. He is gonna go down. RC Bambo doing some huge work. Nice, another 2-man Impale. Maybe Jail's gonna go down. He will to a Mana Burn. MSS is low himself. Huge eliminate from Beatus. Hectic team fight overall. I gotta say, I think it was a win for EG considering that Bambo did so much work there. Unfortunately, JO did die. 3-for-3 trade. Tier 2 tower was destroyed. And overall, well, maybe not that big of a win because it was Gyrocopter that survived through that team fight as well.
And really unfortunate for Magnus to blink into that Impale that just really turned the fight around. It would have been a pretty nice 2-man RP, and the rest of Liquid was way too far away to save them from after the skewer. But very timely Impale by MSS, and I think that helped them to secure a couple of kills. It would have easily been like a 3-1 exchange at best had that not happened.
Yeah, and right now, Team Liquid needs every bit of time that they could get some key team fight items. You can see that Boba working towards that Shiva. I talked about TC finishing that Shadow Blade, trying to utilize that positioning. So far, I don't think that he did that last team fight. It was just too hectic. And of course, you can see that Korok trying to finish this BKB. BKB not going to be, in my opinion, too effective this game. It's going to block some big AoE spells like Illuminate and Fable, but for the most part, the damage are physical, coming in the form of the Weaver as well as the Lifestealer.
And it looks like EG actually has 5 Observer Owls right now. This is so unusual. Oh, only 4. So 1, 2, yeah, 3, 4 out. And it looks like they probably should take out these 2 towers on bottom first. Once they take those 2 out, it really sets them up nicely for Roshan. That's really a point of hot contest. Usually you want to take the bottom lane, tier 1 and T2 before the top lane, simply because of this Roshan. And looking at Liquid, looks like they have the right idea in mind, pretty much taking control over the bottom half map.
Yeah, I love the fact that you brought up these really deep offensive observer ward on EG's side, because that's really how you prevent some of the Nyx ganks, because generally Nyx Assassin gonna Vendetta from his own jungle to the enemy jungle, but well, seeing him disappear in thin air, that's gonna be a telltale sign of a gank coming their way. I think Demon was pinging this tier 1 on the bot lane. They're getting ready to push those, but Team Liquid doing the same thing, pushing the towers on the other side of the map.
So very strange that Korok has his casual Ring of Reach, and I'm not sure. I think he
had
disabled his
Tranquil
boots,
yeah.
But he really needs some more farm. I'm surprised to see the Tranquil boots switch into treads. Usually you just decide very early whether you need survivability from treads or the Tranquil boots from regen. But it looks like he has switched his mind halfway through as to what build he has, probably because of his rather lackluster start. So it looks like TC will be there very quickly to defend bottom lane, and JO will just swarm and Shikuchi away. So it looks like a little bit of passiveness for the next couple of minutes. I think EG is in a pretty good position to take these fights. Again, with these very offensive wards, I think they can... Oh, it looks like Demon is getting recalled right now.
Oh, recall to bot lane, trying to maybe set up a big RP gank. Yeah, going back to the Tranquil boot points, I think he was like starting to jungle at level 4 or 5, and Tranquil boot's very helpful in terms of allowing him to stay alive. But Fluff and stuff, oh, he's migrating his courier, but I think he's gonna get caught off, surrounded by 3 or 4 offensive disrupt against the Lifestealer. But Demon will gladly pick up that kill. He's got a double damage in his bottle as well. I don't think they'll try to go down mid. In fact, they should be trying to go down bot lane. But TC doing a very good job pushing out that equilibrium.
And Jayo's very rich. He had an early Midas pickup, and he's already completed his Lincolns, and we see a gem already up on the lifesteal, so it's going to be very difficult for MSS to find any sort of initiation with Vendetta, especially since he's a long way from his blink.
Yeah, straight up Roshan snipe here. Let's see if they're going to actually pick it off. Fluff and stuff dying for a long time. That's going to mean that they don't have any way to scout into Roshan with the Shadow Poison. Of course, double damage on Demon's Bottle. They're going to get Aegis unless they're going to fight over. Here comes Boba. He gets lifted. Skewer outwards. RP is going to be only used by one. Weaver's going to get the Aegis. And you can see that TC. He wants Demon, but he's got no RP not being dropped just yet. They're doing such good chainset on Demon. Will he drop the RP? He finally does, but will die to the Spike Carapace. Demon or TC as well as Boba still alive. Fear is going to be chasing away MSS. Jayo's on the chase as well. There is a Blink Dagger up already on Fear. Dragon Tail being stolen, but TC's right back in this. Is he going to focus on Fear? That's a question. No, Jayo's very, very tanky. I dislike that choice. Korok joining the fight as well. I'm not sure how Team Liquid is actually winning this fight, but through great focus fire on Demon, making him drop these really lackluster RPs. Well, they win this one. Sure, Jayo does have the Aegis, but I'm not sure whether it was overall worth it. 3 death for Aegis on Jayo.
Yeah, huge win. And losing that gem too, that's a really big deal considering Liquid has the Vendetta on the next assassin as well as the Shadow Blade on TC. So huge blow for them. Looks like they will get this easy T2.
Yeah, did you have a better look on how that team fight was really won? It seemed very, very hectic, and they just focused Demon as much as they could have. And
yeah,
they somehow got it.
A couple of Liquid's heroes were really close to this rune spot, right close to where that Sentry Ward was now.
Team fight is going to break out on the bot lane. TC's going to Shadow Blade away. Open Moon's going to use on Fluff and stuff. Self-disrupt right now. And Jail's on the chase. Skewer backward. That's going to get Fluff kill. And everybody else says, see ya. We're going to get the hell out. And that's a good choice. But you were talking about team fight on the rune spot. And was everybody clumped up there?
So like Naix was pretty deep in the pit, and they didn't actually see those 3 coming. I think Demon was a little bit out of position. He really just needs to blink and RP, and that's it, and not get stunned, and his teammate gets disrupted, and just like Nick stun and just kill himself on Carapace. That was just really sloppy by Demon. I haven't really seen Demon any RPs yet besides this one solo mid in the against the solo Dragonite and the one on bottom near the T1 tower. So again, I think his positioning is really lacking. Perhaps he should pop some smokes so that they can't find him at all, and they really need to set up more sentries and observer wards. Again, no observer wards in this area, and that's really hurting them. Yeah,
he's working towards that BKB to give him an easier time to blink in, maybe not blink into those unlucky stuns from Impel. But the beauty of Magnus is that even if he's not landing those picture perfect RPs, having Empower is very, very helpful. Blink initiate here, tossing Boba back, but very, very nice defensive disruption being done out by Fluff. The beauty of Magnus is that even if you don't land those big RPs, Empowers is great, Blink Sphere is a great initiation, and you really need to just land one. If you land one big RP, you win the team fight, and the game gets extremely difficult for Team Liquid. Smoke usage, and are they going to turn right back? They still have that RP available, but looks like they're just hanging around, perhaps trying to set up a gank.
Yep, both teams are smoked right now. And looking at XP graph real quick, it's almost back to 0. So great job by Liquid coming back there. It was pretty much just all that last Roshan fight, but it's very nice to see them get back into the game. And then difference in gold still heavily in favor of EG. Over 7,500 gold in favor right now.
It doesn't feel like 7,500 gold lead, right? Because of the gem being exchanged back and forth. The items are very powerful on the Radiant side, but the nature of Weaver is a hero that he needs a ton of item before he's, you know, extremely unkillable, and he's gonna go through your entire team. He's, I want to say, 1 item away from that. If he picks up something like a Daedalus or even a Desolator, then he could just be that big carry, especially with the help of Empower. But for now, a Lincoln Sphere, that's a 5k item that actually doesn't do too much in terms of offensive capabilities. So that's why it doesn't feel like EG is winning as hard as a 75k goal would suggest.
And it looks like he will build a Desolator, though. This will help both him and Naix to try and burst down that ever so tanky Dragonite. He's sitting at 21 armor right now, and Darkseer is also sitting at 23. So as soon as these have his Shivas, those 2 heroes are going to be really, really difficult for EG to kill. Maybe they should try and opt for some magic damage with their carries. Maybe a Maelstrom on Lifestealer, or let's say an MKB and Weaver. That will definitely help a lot versus the very high armor priority targets from Liquid. But as of now, it looks like Lifestealer is working his way towards Abyssal Blade.
Yeah, Abyssal Blade definitely, as we see Fluff and stuff just barely TPing out that one. Yeah, Abyssal Blade definitely not a bad choice considering that there are BKB now up on the Gyrocopter, who has actually made a pit stop on the Helmet Dominator choice. by him. So he's really going for this ultra late game build. But again, like you said, the farm is not there. The space was created, but he just had a very tough early game. And imagine EG's looking to start pressuring high ground a little bit. I think what they really want to do, EG, is find a random pick off here and there and just go. But Team Liquid is not giving them the opportunity. Another smoke being used. Both teams are just chewing the smoke, and I think they're going to try to get a huge backstab. Demon, as always, huge priority target. JO's got that Desolator. They find Demon. Where's the vacuum? No, he blinks right back out. The wall's going to miss as well, but the Dragon Tail would not. They're focusing, but blind. 5-second mischance here against Demon. Demon still is not finding that RP. The two team is really separated. Weaver on the back line here. They're going to get a kill on Beatus. Is he? He's so tanky. Beatus, why are you surviving for so long? Thanks to the mech. And JO now will do a ton of damage. RP will hit on 2. And that's going to be the big RP that was looking through the whole fight. That was a 4-man wipe in the favor. Maybe a 5-man wipe, but now Liquid Core gets picked up. He is dead as well. Ultra kill on JO. You need that secondary DPS item, and when he gets it, the deeps were just too much. EG's gonna get a melee Rex, and perhaps even the second Rex on the mid lane as well, as a respawn time is really a long way from actually being there for Team Liquid.
Yeah, this is the second time they tried to smoke on Demon and unable to get him before he's blink, and this is really, really costly for Liquid. They're still trying to focus him after he blinks, and that just separates their team way too much. Not having any sort of instant damage is killing them.
Yeah, maybe they should have surged DK in with that long-range stun. Maybe they did that, but Demon reaction just simply too quick. Actually, Boba was surging himself, and Boba got really close. I think almost in melee range, but a lack of right-click or a lack of a quick vacuum, and he was home scot-free. And the rest of the team was really under trouble by Weaver. GG's going to get called by Fluff. I don't think this is an early GG by any means. Team Liquid got outplayed in the early game, and EG held on to that lead and just snowball out of control.
Yeah, one half-decent RP, and this wins it for EG.
Yep. You only need one, man. You only need one.
I know. That's Magnus for you.
Yeah. Man, I remember those days of Enigma Black Holes. You have to land multiple ones to win really big ones. Boba gets here on the high ground. A little bit of a lousy play at the end of game. Game 1 of a best-of-3 series will go to Evil Geniuses against a lot of fanboys' expectations. And let's see if EG can make it a 2-all sweep, or will the Liquid boys have what it takes and you could go for a 2-1 victory as a return. This is the Weplay upper bracket. He is Merlini, I am Luminous, and of course this is a BTS presentation. We'll be back for Game 2 and hopefully Game 3 as well. And don't go anywhere, guys. Hope you guys are enjoying the broadcast.
Trouble brewing at Dyer's top rags.